In the vast expanse of the galaxy, humanity had flourished. Once confined to Earth, humans had colonized numerous planets, forming the United Federation of Earth (HFY). This federation stood as a beacon of peace and prosperity, a testament to human resilience and unity. Among its defenders, none were more revered than the Spartan Star Fleet. These elite warriors, known for their unmatched bravery and tactical brilliance, were led by the decorated hero, Captain Leonidas. Leonidas, a figure of legend, had led countless missions, his leadership an anchor for the hopes of humanity. But peace was always tenuous. The Xerxian Empire, a formidable and tyrannical regime, cast a long shadow over the galaxy. Their conquest was relentless, and now their gaze had turned to Earth. A Xerxian emissary arrived at the capital, demanding humanity's surrender and tribute. The emissary's arrogance was met with steely resolve. Leonidas, representing the spirit of humanity, rejected the ultimatum without hesitation. His defiance was a clear message: humanity would not bow. Within the HFY Council, fear and uncertainty took hold. The threat of the Xerxians loomed large, and the Council was reluctant to engage in full-scale war. Political turmoil ensued, with debates raging over the best course of action. But Leonidas knew that action was imperative. Unwilling to wait for bureaucratic decisions, he took matters into his own hands. Rallying his 300 elite Spartan space marines, he prepared to make a stand. The Hyperion Nebula, with its narrow passages and treacherous terrain, was chosen as the perfect defensive choke point. Leonidas understood its strategic importance and believed it could neutralize the Xerxians' numerical advantage. As the Spartans readied themselves for battle, allied starships from various human colonies arrived, answering the call for help. These ships, though few in number, represented the diverse and united front of humanity. Within the nebula, preparations were intense. The Spartans and their allies fortified their positions, utilizing the dense asteroid fields and stellar phenomena to create a formidable defense. Amidst the preparations, moments of camaraderie and resolve shone through. The Spartans, knowing the odds were against them, found strength in their unity and shared purpose. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for the future of humanity. The tension in the Hyperion Nebula was palpable as the Xerxian fleet drew near. The vastness of the enemy armada was intimidating, their ships forming a menacing silhouette against the starry backdrop. The Spartans and their allies held their positions, every soldier knowing the critical importance of this confrontation. As the first shots were fired, the silence of space erupted into chaos. Beams of energy and plasma bolts crisscrossed the void, showcasing the advanced technology on both sides. The initial skirmish set the tone, each side testing the other's defenses. Emperor Xerxes, the leader of the Xerxian Empire, made his presence known. His flagship, an imposing colossus bristling with weaponry, loomed large over the battlefield. Xerxes himself, a figure of supreme confidence and arrogance, watched the unfolding battle with a keen eye, underestimating the resolve of the humans he faced. The Spartans, clad in their advanced exosuits, moved with precision and deadly efficiency. Their combat skills were unparalleled, each movement a testament to their rigorous training and unwavering discipline. Utilizing the nebula's treacherous environment, they executed strategic maneuvers that confounded the Xerxian forces. Asteroids and stellar debris became shields and weapons in their hands, turning the natural terrain into a formidable ally. The first waves of Xerxian drones and soldiers were met with fierce resistance. The Spartans' effectiveness in repelling these attacks became evident, their coordinated efforts turning the tide of battle, if only temporarily. As the battle raged on, Xerxes initiated communication with Leonidas. His offer was grandiose: wealth, power, and a place of honor within the Xerxian Empire in exchange for submission. Leonidas, with characteristic defiance, rejected the offer outright. His words were a rallying cry, reaffirming the Spartans' resolve to fight to the last breath. Xerxes, now visibly frustrated, resolved to crush this defiance with even greater force, deploying his most advanced units to the fray. The Xerxian forces intensified their assault, introducing genetically engineered warriors and monstrous biomechs into the battle. These new threats were formidable, designed to break the spirit and defenses of their enemies. The Spartans, however, were quick to adapt. They analyzed the weaknesses of these new foes, adjusting their tactics to counter the enhanced capabilities of the Xerxean creations. Despite their adaptability, the sheer number and power of the Xerxean reinforcements began to take a toll. The sense of desperation grew among the human defenders, but their resolve remained unbroken. They knew that every second they held the line was a second bought for humanity's future. Among the ranks of humanity's defenders was Ephialtes, a man burdened with bitterness and a personal vendetta against Leonidas and the HFY. Feeling slighted and overlooked, he sought revenge. His treachery came to fruition when he revealed a hidden hyperspace route to the Xerxeans. This secret pathway allowed the enemy to bypass the heavily fortified main defenses. The Xerxeans launched a surprise flank attack, catching the Spartans off guard and overwhelming their defenses. The once impenetrable line of human resistance began to falter under the unexpected assault. Leonidas quickly realized the gravity of their compromised position. The strategic advantage they had painstakingly created was lost, and the Xerxeans were now pressing their attack from an unexpected direction. Understanding the dire situation, Leonidas made a difficult but necessary decision. He ordered the allied forces to retreat, to carry the tale of their resistance back to humanity's heartlands. This retreat was not one of defeat, but a tactical withdrawal to ensure that the story of their stand and the threat of the Xerxeans would be known. Emotional farewells were exchanged, with the resolve to make their final stand a meaningful and memorable one. The remaining Spartans prepared themselves for what they knew would be their last battle. The final showdown was a spectacle of intense and brutal combat. The Spartans, though vastly outnumbered, fought with unmatched ferocity and determination. Leonidas led with unwavering bravery, his presence on the battlefield a source of inspiration for his men. Every Spartan utilized their technological innovations and tactical genius to maximum effect, turning every inch of ground into a lethal battleground for the Xerxeans. The Spartans' last stand was marked by extraordinary acts of heroism, each warrior fighting as though their actions alone could turn the tide of battle. In the midst of the chaos, Leonidas saw an opportunity. With a final surge of strength, he launched a spear-like plasma weapon aimed directly at Xerxes' flagship. The weapon streaked through space, narrowly missing its target but inflicting significant damage. The strike was a symbolic blow, proving that Xerxes was not invincible. As the battle reached its inevitable conclusion, Leonidas delivered his final words, a message of defiance and unwavering hope for humanity. His declaration echoed through the ranks of his remaining soldiers and into the annals of history, ensuring that their sacrifice would be remembered and their spirit would continue to inspire future generations. In the immediate aftermath of the battle, the once impenetrable Spartan line lay silent. The brave 300 had all fallen, their last stand etched into the cold vacuum of space. The Xerxeans, bruised and battered, temporarily withdrew to regroup after encountering such unexpected resistance. This brief reprieve allowed the story of the Spartans' heroic sacrifice to spread rapidly across human colonies. The tale of their defiance and valor ignited a spark of resistance, inspiring many to stand against the looming threat of the Xerxean Empire. The surviving Allied forces returned to their respective colonies, bearing the weight of the Spartans' legacy. Their accounts of Leonidas and his warriors became rallying cries. Political differences and past grievances were set aside as the colonies realized the necessity of unity against a common enemy. Inspired by the courage and sacrifice of the Spartans, the disparate human factions began to coalesce. A united human fleet was formed, a symbol of their collective resolve and newfound solidarity, ready to confront the Xerxeans head-on. Admiral Dilios, one of the surviving Spartans, emerged as a natural leader for this newly united fleet. He took command with the same resolve and bravery that characterized Leonidas. In a rousing speech to the assembled forces, Dilios drew heavily on the legacy of Leonidas and the 300. He spoke of their unmatched bravery, their unyielding defiance, and their ultimate sacrifice. His words were charged with emotion and conviction, instilling a renewed sense of purpose and determination in every soldier present. The fleet's collective resolve to fight for humanity's freedom and to honor the Spartans' sacrifice was palpable, creating an atmosphere of unwavering commitment. As the fleet prepared for the decisive confrontation with the Xerxian Empire, meticulous tactical planning ensued. The best minds from across the colonies collaborated, developing innovative strategies to counter the Xerxians' technological and numerical superiority. Each ship was outfitted with the latest advancements, every crew member drilled to perfection. The departure of the united human fleet was marked by a sense of hope and determination. The memory of the 300 Spartans served as a guiding light, their legacy driving humanity to face the future with courage and resolve. The fleet embarked on its mission with the understanding that they carried not only weapons and tactics, but the indomitable spirit of those who had given their all.